Bad mind. Peace, y'all. Peace. Brother Light, peace. Bad mind. Greetings to the family. Greetings. How's everybody doing? Peace and love. Welcome to another episode of Third Eye Thursdays. This is your host for the evening, your good brother Red Pill. Yes, indeed. Hold on, let me make sure. Give me 1 minute.
There we go.
To this day.
Now we better. Sound effects wasn't in a minute ago. We good now though. We lit. What's goody, man? How's everybody doing? Peace and love. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Third Eye Thursday, featuring your good brother Red Pill, live and direct, coming right off of Brother Rich's channel. Shout out to Black Magic 363. Shout out to Blue Pillar. Shout out to everybody that was in the building tonight and whatnot, that was there with us for that powerful show that we did. The metaphysical Mamba mentality, right? Blue Pill laid that shit out. He gave you all of the tenets and the commandments we added on. And yeah, if you didn't see it, go back and check it out. All right. Definitely go back and check it out. Let's do the roll call. Let's see who's in the building. All right, we got Louisiana in the building. Shout out to Louisiana. Peace to Louisiana in the motherfucking building, man. I'm talking about, yes, indeed, East Flatbush by way of Georgia. Shout out to East Flatbush.
To this day.
Were you in Atlanta?
To this day.
East Flatbush, you in the A? Holla at us, man. What's popping? Shout out to East Flatbush. Shout out to Seattle in the building. Seattle. Shout out to Mississippi. MISSS. All right. Dominica, West Indies was popping. Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, you know we coming to your city next week, right? You know you coming to your city next Friday, as a matter of fact, with the Facts Initiative. Shout out to Richmond, Virginia. All right. Gwinnett County. Don't get pulled over. Washington, D.C., Memphis, Florida, Flatbush, Brooklyn, Portland, Oregon was really good. Dallas, Texas, Roxbury, Boston. All right. Hampton, VA. Okay, Hampton. I see you, Hampton. Norfolk, Virginia. Rocky Mount. Is that Rocky Mount, North Kakalaka? Hampton, VA. Clayton, North Carolina. 767 Norfolk, Spartanburg, Colorado. All right. Las Vegas, Smyrna, Georgia. Michigan in the building. Spartansburg in the building. Covington, all right. Shout out to Covington. Charlotte, Charleston. The Tremont section of the BX was really popping, all right. Gwinnett County again, showing up. I see you, Gwinnett, man. Minnesota, Las Vegas, South Cali, Edgefield, South Carolina, Roxbury, Boston, San Diego, all right. Spartansburg, Conyers, Georgia was really good. San Juan, California. Okay, we deep in here. We are deep in the building. Shout out to everybody pulling up. It's a lot of y'all tonight. Shout out to Delaware. Shout out to the Bronx. Shout out to Boston. Shout out to Ohio. Shout out to Miami and whatnot. It's really good. You know what I mean? Shout out to Toledo, Ohio, Canada. Peace, Canada. All right. We're not going to be here all night. This is not going to be a super duper long show. We have some announcements to make, of course. You know, we always got to let everybody know what's going on. We can't be under the assumption that everybody knows what we going, what we doing and whatnot. So quick commercial before we begin. Next Friday, okay, which will be August. Where did this month go? August the 19th, right? Next Friday, which will make it August the 19th. Your good brother Red, and also brother Blue Pill. We are going to be in Richmond, Virginia. Okay. We're going to be in Richmond, Virginia, doing the Facts Initiative. All right. We're going to be doing the Facts Initiative along with the Pillar Prophecies. This will be, hold on, let me see if I could pull it up. This is going to be going down in Richmond, Virginia. And I look forward to seeing at Black Iris Gallery. Look that up. Black Iris Gallery, 321 West Broad in Richmond, Virginia, from the hours of, let me get the hours for you. And give me 1 minute. Shout out to the brother Sir Bay and the Purpose Pushers. Shout out to the brother Sir Bay and the Purpose Pushers. All right. So that's going to be from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. 5 p.m. right after work to 9 p.m. The Facts Initiative 2020 and the Pillar Prophecies, featuring Red Pill, Blue Pill, special guest Source Guard, and there's going to be numerous performances along with the good brother Sir Bay, who will be performing as well, and he has a book signing that he'll be doing. That's at the Black Iris Gallery, 321 West Broad, Richmond, Virginia. We'll have merch on deck. I'll be doing a few consultations here and there, and we'll be out there, for the weekend. You know what I mean? And then on Sunday, the 21st, in Capitol Heights, right, which is in PG County, Capitol Heights, Maryland, we will be having the same. We'll have a meet and greet, and we'll also be having the Facts Initiatives 2022 and the Pillar Prophecies at the Everlasting Life Restaurant. Shout out to Dr. Baruch. And that will be from the hours of, let me get this for you. Let me get this for you. So, give me 1 second. The 21st, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., Sunday, August the 21st, 2022. Brother Red, Brother Blue, we will be in the building. We look forward to meeting and greeting and building with the family. This is going to be part of our tour that we will be doing, our solution-based tour with the Facts Initiative for 2022. And that's an acronym for food, finances, arms, algorithms, art, coding, culture, clothing, technology, transportation, strategy, shelter, spirituality. And I'm forgetting maybe 1 or 2. That's the acronym for FACTS. And it's already a successful program. This initiative has already been very successful in launching many businesses all throughout the Americas and even overseas across the ponds by brothers and sisters who've been students to the initiative and tapped in. And, they have a lot of success stories. So we're taking this show on the road. We have some new technology that we'll be integrating into the Facts Initiative, because we're here in a new world, Web 3.0, and many tools have been created that will expedite and speed up the process of allowing this quote unquote initiative to truly impact our people and people who are in alignment with our message. Okay. And then the weekend after that, in New York City, back in New York by popular demand, our good brother A.A. Rashid is returning with his masterclass. All right. And Blue Pill will be a special guest in his masterclass, and they'll be dealing with metaphysics, Kabbalah, and ancient psychology. I'm sorry. They will be dealing with metaphysics, Kabbalah, ancient psychology, That is Saturday, the 27th. Okay. And that starts at 6 p.m. No, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday. And then on Sunday, it is 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Brother Red Pill and Know the Ledge Media, KTL University will be there streaming both days live for anybody in this network that wants to be a part of history and want to be tapped in, and you want to learn from a master teacher such as the Kabbalah God and Mr. Law 44 himself, Pope Pablo, aka Blue Pillar. And for anybody who missed out on the masterclass that we did on Monday, we did a lecture called When in Rome. That is available for replay, automatic replay, video on demand at ktluuniversity.com. We also put a bundle together where we have When in Rome from 2021 and When in Rome from 2022. I suggest that you binge on both of them so you can see how the information has updated itself in a year, because there were things going on in 2021 that we highlighted in the lecture that, you know, we be forgetting shit. You know what I mean? There's so much going on in the news cycle. People really forget what's going on, and they tend to have amnesia in a sense. But, you know, we're here to remind you. So make sure you go ahead and tap in and get you some information, you know what I mean? Because that's really what this is. Get you some light, right? This is the light. Light is being emanated from individuals to others and whatnot. Today is the super moon in Aquarius. I highly suggest we take full advantage of that. I highly suggest we tap into this window of opportunity. I highly suggest that we get our affirmations in order, right? I highly suggest that we don't take these windows for granted. You know what I mean? Like these doors that are opening and whatnot. I hope we don't take this for granted, because these doors are not going to remain open forever. Okay. So we have the ability to utilize days like this to make some shit happen. The last supermoon of the year is here, August 11th to the 12th. This is the full moon of passion and awakening. An Aquarius moon during a Lionsgate portal on the same day Venus enters Leo. That's a lot of love, passion, and spirit awakening energy. Emit love and show love. Expect miracles. Tip for the full moon. This is the last super moon of the year. If you feel burdened energetically, go out when the moon is at its peak. If possibly at 9:36 p.m. Take a jar of water and some cinnamon. Pour the water through your hair and rub the cinnamon between your hands and blow. This full moon might pull on our insecurities a bit, with it being in Aquarius, which focuses on individuality. We're being pulled to accept ourselves unconditionally and pay more attention to our strengths rather than weaknesses. This is a good time to detach, right? So I'm just reading to y'all some, on my Instagram page, I put up some different tweets and whatnot about this moon. So I'm just sharing it. Hopefully somebody out there, this can help you and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully somebody that hears this will be compelled to do something if they wasn't thinking about doing nothing a few minutes ago. This full moon is going to center around relationships, not only romantic ones, but business partnerships, contracts, and our connections to the collective. How is the way we are showing up going to help/hurt our reputation with others? How will this impact what's working towards? Okay. So affirmations for the full moon in Aquarius. I surrender all fears and doubt because I am open to receiving opportunities that align with my purpose. I rebuke the negativity of those who want to see me fall because I'm blessed and highly favored. I welcome transformational change. Dab on them.
To this day. How, Sway?
That part. So, there you have it. You know what I mean? That's the least, you know what I mean? That's what I could give y'all. Hopefully, that's something that you can utilize and do something with. But it's lit. You know what I'm talking about? It's lit. And take advantage of the littiness. No time to complain. It's Leo season. You feel me? No time to be pessimistic and whatnot. No time to quote unquote complain and be pessimistic and see the glass half empty. You need to get in your bag and see this shit for half full. See it for what it is. Summer is almost over. There's some miraculous things that have been taking place throughout this summer. Me and Blue covered it on Monday during the When in Rome lecture. There's some miraculous things, but you would not know if you wasn't tapped in. You would not know if you didn't seek and ye shall find. You would not know if you was not paying attention and listening, because you could miss out on some shit by listening to distractions and whatnot. And, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Sometimes we listening to the wrong things. And it's gonna sway your thoughts. It's gonna sway your perception about where you are in time and space. You might think you in a messed up place, and you actually in a great place, fam. It's not about that what you're going through right now, is what you're going through. Where is it taking you to? Whatever you're going through currently, what is it preparing you for? Whatever you're going through currently, what all that pain and anxiety and weight that you're feeling is think about being at the gym. You could be feeling that same weight, that same pain. You feel me? That same anxiety when you're underneath 200 goddamn pounds of iron and whatnot. But the more pushing it, the more resistance that you display and whatnot, right? In the long run, you get to benefit off of that because you're gonna feel good and you're gonna look good. You know what I'm talking about? That adds on to your development and your growth. So I'm sure we probably could have an 8-hour show if I opened up the lines and told everybody call up and let's talk about what the fuck you going through. You know what I'm talking about? This shit could become a hotline bling. We might do a Jerry Rice marathon and break day, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? A Jerry Lewis marathon. I'm sorry. And break day in this bitch. We all know that we going through some shit. We could all feel it. It's in the air. Like Beanie said, you could feel it in the air. We're going through a shift, my niggas. We're going through an energy shift, not just the Lion's Gate. That ain't the energy shift. We're going through the great resets. I'm resetting I'm going through a phase right now. Let me share what I'm personally going through. I'm going through a complete rebranding of how I see myself. I'm going through a complete energy shift on how I show up and what I'm giving my energy to, right? I'm going through a great reset where I'm resetting how I even, some of my income streams and how I even eat. Like all of that is changing, and it's going to change for the better, but it has to change because the only thing constant is change, fam. Today's price is not yesterday's price. We all got to level up, but nobody's going to level you up. You got to level yourself up. So I made the conscious decision that there's certain levels that, I'm going to push myself to attain or to rise to until there's no more levels to rise. But that's what the shift is doing for me. But let me tell you something about this shift. And while it's doing what it's doing for me, this is some of the most uncomfortable feelings that I've ever felt in my life. I've never felt as uncomfortable as I felt, in these days that have transpired. I'm out of my comfort zone. I'm not in my comfort zone. I'm in a very uncomfortable space. You dig what I'm saying? But this shit is pushing me to my limits and it's showing me something that I might have refused to see because I was in my comfort zone. This weekend, like I said, or this strong end, when I came out of the Invest Fest, I had a eureka moment. I had a revelation, fam. It changed me. It shifted my mentality. I had a paradigm shift experience inside of that building, and it was building up in me for months now, and it crescendoed right there in the Georgia World Congress Center to the point where I did a live the next day, and I was kind of, I was still on a buzz, I was still on a high, but I was denouncing certain things that I'm not going to be standing for, or I just don't want to be associated with me anymore. And I have the right to do that, right? As long as I'm respectful and as long as I'm taking full responsibility for things and whatnot, I have the right to do that. But what don't serve me anymore, I have to let go. And that's exactly what this moon is about. I didn't even know that that's what this moon was about. And I began going through those shifts and whatnot since Sunday. The energy took hold of me. I'm like, yo, certain things don't serve me no more. It's time to level this shit up. And I've had meetings ever since Sunday that just affirmed the level up, bro. I had a meeting today with a client on Zoom. I did a consultation earlier, right? Because my consultation's been popping lately. Thank you for everybody tapping in. And I had a Zoom meeting with a brother that I met at the Invest Fest, and this brother's in technology. I'm talking about, and his brother showed me some things, and it completely shifted. I'm here to be shifted right now, and it helped shift the goalposts a little bit further. It helped open up my eyes a little bit more, because sometimes I speak, on these shows, I speak into the computer, I talk into this camera because I know it's going around the world, and I speak things into existence. I'll be like, yo, we need more people in tech out there. We need more coders out there. I don't know who they are, but I'm speaking it into existence until they materialize and manifest in the real world right in front of me. And this brother manifested right in front of me. And he has a lot of the things that I've been publicly speaking about that I want and I need and I'm looking for in both a business partner and some software, some technology. Because we in a technological age. And I said this to him. I was like, because you in technology, my brother, you have a vantage point because you're grounded. If you're in technology and whatnot, you're somewhat still grounded. You don't live in the past. You're not stuck in the past, my nigga. You're not in a DeLorean stuck in the past, marveling over what your ancestors, your grandmama's mama did. You're not fawning over, you're not romanticizing. To this day. You know what I'm talking about? You're not romanticizing history. Not what you did, what somebody did that looked like you just because they your own color. You feel me? Just because they carved a nigga in black stone, niggas is like, that's my ancestors, I did that. But in technology, you are presently present because you have to think for the now and for the future and whatnot. You more so in the future fucking with the technology, and you could be grounded. Because one of the reasons why people don't achieve their highest degree of what they supposed to be, because they not even here, fam. A lot of motherfuckers done tapped out. They minds is somewhere completely else. They stuck in the past. They don't want to conform. They don't want to change. They don't want to upgrade. They scared of technology while they on a iPhone 13. They don't want to be visionaries. You ask them, what's your 100-year plan? Where do you see us in the year 3000? You know what I'm talking about? I don't even think we gonna make it that far. Astaghfirullah, nigga said who? These babies are still being born. You know what I mean? Don't be so arrogant. So I respect Black men and women in tech. I know that I can have a healthy conversation with them because there's a part of them that is quote unquote anchored in the now, and being presently present is what I'm all about. There's nothing wrong with that. I never make nobody feel ashamed for being presently present. I'm an aloof human being. I don't be here. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking shit. I be in different time zones, dimensions, and galaxies and whatnot. I'm aloof. If walking meditation was a person, nigga, that's me. If daydreaming was a person, that would be me. You know what I'm talking about? I'm always tapped out. But when it comes time for me to be here and presently present and to be a visionary and to pierce into the future and have foresight, I could take people all over this dimensions and whatnot. I could take you thousands of years ahead if need be. That's how far my vision goes. You know what I'm talking about? My imagination is crazy. I'm able to pierce and to look ahead, and I'm able to look behind and whatnot. But I'm not stuck in the past. I'm here to edify my ancestors from the past. I'm here to edify the motifs and the iconography of the past. You know what I mean? Like bringing the King Tut, you know what I'm saying, to this community on cloth, on apparel and whatnot, you know, high quality and whatnot. And, you know, bringing the steles back to life, you know what I'm talking about, around my neck. Shit like that is cool. But I ain't stuck in the past though. I'm modernizing shit. You know what I'm talking about? I'm presently present with it. You know what I'm talking about? So there's a balance that one must take. You know, it's not for everybody, I guess, but there's a balance that one takes, one such as myself, where, you know, I try my best to stay balanced and not get lost in the sauce, or lost in my studies and whatnot, or lost in fucking worshiping another man, or lost being a zealot to some religion that somebody wrote in a book, or lost where I'm basically, you know, property of one of these schools of knowledge and whatnot. I'm on a fucking leash. These niggas have a muffle on my mouth. I can't say certain things. But so far I could go in the yard and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? You niggas is on Cinderella time in some of those organizations, washing the dishes and, you know what I mean, utilizing the Swiffer broom, but you niggas, they don't give you a moment to shine. You got to wait your turn. And that's cool and everything, you know, it's a level of discipline in that. However, this shit is religion, bro. And you know what we think about religion, and you know what the master teachers taught us about the religious mind state. That shit ain't Aquarius. It ain't Aquarian. It's not where we going with this 5D reality. It's not Aquarian. I hate to burst your bubbles, but you know what I'm saying? That ain't that white star. That ain't Aquarian. You know. So, you know, kudos to everybody out there doing what needs to be done. You know, I'm talking about kudos to all of the students that are very studious and, you know, that are training their minds and, you know, getting themselves prepared to be teachers and then master teachers. You know, I welcome all of y'all to walk this walk. You feel me? Because it's a road less traveled, but this shit is not an easy road. It is not an easy road to stay relevant, to stay, you know, to stay on the front lines and whatnot, to stay in the favor, to stay in the hearts and the minds of the people, to transform in front of the people, you know what I mean? To have the willingness to grow and develop in front of the eyes of the people who could judge you and stone your ass to death. You know, that takes a lot of courage. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of people will fold under social anxiety and whatnot. They'll melt under the pressure of the light. Believe you me, this is not for everybody. So for whoever's up there doing what they do, don't waste your time. Advice from me to you. Savor the moment and don't blow that shit. And don't get up there and you know, use your moment and your 15 minutes of fame to try to defame or try to, you know, denounce another man or woman when, you know, when nobody asks you anything. Nobody asks you how you feel about this person, or nobody asks your 2 cents. You know, focus on yourself, especially when you get that moment. You don't got time to focus on nobody else. Focus on you. You know what I mean? No man or woman should be riding your mind that much unless they are a direct threat. You feel me? So let's do this. You know what I mean? Let's take a few questions from the audience. I don't want to just be talking to you all night. I would rather engage with you and have a conversation, an intelligent one, of course, and see what some people are out there thinking and asking and whatnot. And then, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. So peace to the chat room. Feel free to ask any question. This will be a quick Q&A segment. And then more than likely we'll be tapping out. And because I'm very mindful. I know the West Coast, it's not that late out there, but I'm very mindful of the fact that it's midnight where I'm at. And this moon is out and I got to do my ceremony and I got to get right. You know what I mean? And I feel that you should too. We gave out a lot of information about what to do with this moon and whatnot. So it would almost be selfish of me to hold you for too long when there's work to be done. You feel me? I'm really here to share that the most important part of this show tonight is that last super moon and whatnot, and the advantage that you have by getting the information in real time, right? And being intentional, nigga, that's chaos, that's magic. That's consciousness, that's lit. You feel me? I'm an impulsive person myself. So sometimes I like to stumble on shit and it's like, oh, we in the window right now. Oh, it's going down now. Oh, I don't have to wait. It's here. All right, boom, I'm jumping in, skinny dipping. I'm hopping right in. So if that's the type of character or that's your personality type, then you'll understand. If it's not, then take whatever what was shared and resonated with you and do it that will. Okay? Do what you need to do. Is it as if no one cares, parents, teachers, politics? Red, I know the new babies are supers, but what about our young men taking and giving their lives away every day? Good question. Our young men and women, I feel, might have been a generation that have been overlooked in a sense. I don't think that collectively as the village, right? Parents, kudos to y'all because y'all do what y'all gotta do. I'm a parent of 3. I know how difficult and challenging and overwhelming parenthood can be, right? I know the fears that parents have, right, that haunt them of something happening to one of their progeny and shit like that. Like I'm aware of these things, right? To the point that it even makes me like want to apologize sometimes to my parents and shit. Like, damn, look at what I put y'all through. You know what I mean? Now I got a teenager and shit like that. And if he put me through what I put y'all through, I don't even know if I'll make it. You know what I mean? My heart might give out. So the younger generation who were coming up around Obama's time, because my son is 14, right? He was born in 07. So the little ones that came up while consciousness was on the rise, like my son, he benefited because he was at the Bobby and Phil lectures at LIU before he could even talk. He was able to touch the master teachers and flick it up with them and be in their presence and whatnot. He was able to get his DNA sparked just by the light that was emanating inside of LIU by all of the luminaries and whatnot. He got his upgrade out the womb. You feel me? But all of the children wasn't in the lecture hall with a mirror, right? They was in McDonald's and shit like that. And that generation is a very interesting generation. Like they come up in the rise of social media. They come up where technology has advanced to the point where you carrying super phones in your pockets And they're at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. They're basically commandeering supercomputers, right? And they just got here. I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna continue to say it. The language that they speak is zeros and ones. You know, as you can tell, they're encapsulated by the digital realms in the fantasy industry. Digital realms will be the internet, online, you know, social media, online gaming, that shit that they do on the Xbox, the Fortnites, you know what I mean? Playing Call of Duty with their peoples, NBA 2K teams, you know, all of that digital shit, the electrified age that we're in. That's what they tapped into. So if you want to reach them, you have to speak that language. You would fare better if you were to pop up on them whilst in Fortnite. It would fare better if you were to pop up on them whilst in you know, like Boyce Watkins. I thought that was when I first saw him playing video games and going live, I'm like, he's cloud chasing, you know what I mean? That shit did. And I'm like, what is he doing that? But I had to sit back and, you know, take that back and say, nah, he's speaking the language of a demographics that he may want to be speaking to. So in order to talk to them, you got to show up where they at, right? If we collectively, if we would have came together and created video games that would teach them about their illustrious past and who they really are, you know, they would learn in that way. And it wouldn't negate who, because they learning who they are through Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z, right? They're learning who they are through the cartoons. They learning who they are through some of these video games, right? They're learning who they are through manga and anime. They could relate. They're not fucking slow. You know, the mythos is speaking to a part of them that they're reacting to it, and they're like, yes, that's us. But there's another aspect of the village failing the youth, and that was that we didn't develop a rites of passage to basically say, well, you're a man now, or you're a young lady and you're a woman. What's the rites of passage is like a driver's license and niggas being able to drink beer and shit. Or you could go to the army or you could drive. Like, we got the worst rites of passage as a people, you know, on this planet damn near. And the children are not learning, you know, how to change from, you know, childhood to adulthood. Henceforth, why the record labels are letting 14, 15, and 16-year-olds run the record industry, right? They're letting their thought patterns or their way of thinking, their state of minds run Black America because you old niggas is following them too. You know what I'm talking about? The old heads who don't know who the fuck they are and are not cultured. Oh man, they out here following 13-year-olds. These babies got them niggas under pressure. They scared. It's like Lord of the Flies. You know what I'm talking about? You should see them in the club. This shit is like Lord of the Flies. These are grown people. And when 13 and 14-year-old niggas come in, these niggas start getting scared. They intimidated. This shit is crazy. And around the airwaves of America and henceforth around the world, because it's syndicated, they got young, damn near illiterate boys and girls, FREN, fuck nigga free. They got some you know, they got some low frequent, you know, I'm just saying underdeveloped pubescent artist, right? As the voice of a culture that turned 50 tomorrow, I think. The birthday of hip hop is right around the corner. And they gave it a false birthday on the 11th. These are crack babies. These are DMX babies. You feel me? These are belly babies. You know what I'm talking about? These are you know, these are Grand Theft Auto babies. And they were neglected. And as a result of their neglected, there was a rebellion that took place When you saw Our Future come out in 2011/12 and they were like odd and shit, Tyler the Creator will even explain they have father issues. They were rebelling against the male principle that didn't show up for them. So these were fatherless children who were lashing out. The drill rappers like the Chief Keefs of the world, and the Dirk didn't have his father. He was locked up. You don't see father figures. You don't even see old heads around these young drill rappers that were coming out of Chicago. When they took down the old heads and the legends like Larry Hoover and whatnot, it was Lord of the Flies. The young niggas had to basically become OGs and whatnot. And, once again, the perspective of the mentality of a 13 or 16-year-old through Chief Keef is what took over the rap game in 2012. And they funded it. You know what I mean? They funded it to the tune of millions upon millions of dollars. Where else do they do that in country music? Is there a fucking is there like a country singer that's popping that's like 11 or 12? Yeah, I know they did it with the Jackson 5 and things of that nature, but are they still doing things like that? I'm wondering. But you wonder why niggas are still in their third childhood. And nobody is talking, adult talk, like, grown man talk, high level shit. Like, that's frowned upon. Niggas want to talk about sneakers and whatnot and belts and, weed strains and little toys that they bought for their guns and shit. You know what I mean? Like, they still having that conversation. Yeah, so these babies are suffering. You know what I mean? It was a failed, the old heads, the adults, they still have room to make it right, but it stems from neglect. The drill shit wouldn't have happened if there wasn't a level of neglect. We knew they was killing each other at night. We heard the shots. You know what I mean? All of these drill rappers have parents my age. You know what I'm talking about? The drill rappers, these niggas' birthdays, when you see they RIPs, you be like, damn, they was born in 2020, nigga. They was born in, not 2020, they was born in 2000. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. If a nigga 22, he was born in 2000. How about that? Let's try that out. So they really just got here. And what they've been exposed to, if the village was a little more thoughtful, if the village had what was mentioned earlier, more discipline, if the village exercised a level of integrity, because remember, our moral fabric has been tearing away ever since Liar Cohen and them took over and Def Jam became, one of the premier quote unquote labels in hip hop. And I'm not just putting it on their shoulders. Many different labels that started popping up, like Jerry Heller with NWA, the later iteration, not NWA with Ice Cube, NWA without Ice Cube. Sir Mix-a-Lot by way of Rick Rubin, who went to LA and started something called Def America after he sold Def Jam. A lot of these artists began to tear away at what was considered to be the moral fabric or what was even left in our societies and whatnot. Fast forward to where we're at today, the fabric is completely torn asunder. You know what I mean? And the integrity is lost. And, there's no such thing as a code anymore. And people just move any old way. So you damn right the children are doomed. They're cannon fodder. They're what is considered to be collateral damage. You know what I'm talking about? They're collateral damage. The sins of the father will visit the son too. And a lot of men did not atone for what happened during the era of crack. Just putting that out there. And it wasn't just selling crack. It was a lot of fuckery, a lot of devilishment, a lot of demonic energy. They gripped our people in the late 80s and haven't let us go since. Haven't let us go since. That's a fact. And if you wasn't born in those days and times, or if you were aloof, niggas be like, I was in the crib. Okay, baby boy. Well, shit, you don't know what was going on outside. You know what I'm talking about? You was in the crib. You know? It was in the crib. I'm here to let you know. And it's not, don't let me paint this picture like it was some real, like it was cloudy skies. When in hindsight, it was the most enlightening, sunniest time of my life. That's where the confusion comes in. You know what I mean? That's where a lot of confusion comes in for my generation. It was one of the, we reminisce on the past, and we come back with stories about the crack era and how dark and evil it was. But we'll also be like, yo, I miss those days. Like that shit was so fucking laid back. When we had roaches and shit, you know what I'm talking about? When it was roach infestations in the crib and niggas had Wonder Bread, and it was just a simpler life. People be like, yo, I wish I could go back to that. Like, I yearn for those days, like when the fireflies was out, when the ladybugs would land on you and whatnot. Like, we got to take the good with the bad, with the quarter waters and shit like that. When you would walk in Harlem and smell burning wood and whatnot, because the brownstones was smoky and whatnot. When I lived in the Bronx, and it looked like jet fighters had hit the buildings because them shits was on fire and smoking, and there was mad empty lots with wild dogs chasing you. I'm like, those were the days. I'm looking at the fucking message video with Melly Mel and them, and I'm like, yo, I want to get in a time machine. I want to ride this train when it was wild, dangerous with crazy graffiti on it and shit like that. Like, that's a novelty. You would think a nigga want to be in this safe ass environment in this Disney World, this rest haven for fuck boys and whatnot. And I'm like, I hate it here. Facts. I be talking shit about the I hate it here niggas, but I get what they coming from sometimes. This shit is so upside down and backwards and weird and indifferent. I don't fit into this day and age. I have to conform. I don't really fit. I'm a square in a circle in these days and ages, and I'm silver surfing through this shit, but this ain't my time. I'm visiting. This is not my era. Don't get it fucked up. Like, I'm Dapper Dan in this bitch. My heydays is, either in front of me or in the 80s or whatnot. This ain't my day. My heydays was in the 90s. I'm a 90s child. I was shining. I had the funnest time of my life from like 1992 or 91 going up to like 9/11. That was just a whole movie. That's a whole Netflix series, 3 seasons. Real talk. And there's sprinkles of consciousness in there, but that shit is more entourage than it is motherfucking namaste. How about that? It's more entourage. That shit is more The Wire than it is The Messiah. But it just goes to show you how far we came in the growth and development and what we went through. Because it was scary, but there was a rites of passage intact. It was scary, but there was a sense of loyalty. You just wasn't getting done dirty just for the sake of things. People wasn't just doing you bad just to do you bad. Like, there was a level of karma out there where shit was just visiting people whose hands was calling for it sometimes. And everybody wasn't just gonna beat up on the person who wasn't. They was jumping on niggas that was loud. They was testing your jaw. Like, if you was the loudest person in the room, somebody was gonna test your jaw. They're gonna see what your hands look like. But there was a level of morality. The fabric didn't yet tear yet, right? The fabric wasn't torn like that. There was a respect for elders and olders even. There was a respect for parents and whatnot. There was a respect for authority in a sense. You feel me? Like there was a family structure that was still somewhat intact. I think that's what we miss. Remember, we didn't even have credit cards. We had food stamps and whatnot in some hoods. Credit cards came out like that shit is a new invention. Being able to swipe the fucking debit or a credit card, that wasn't always here. That wasn't always an option. So a lot of people didn't even have the access that they have right now. But look at what's happened with the access and whatnot. You got these little kids wearing $1,000 jeans. You know what I mean? $1,000. They got Amiri sneakers on, $1,000 sneakers, $500 coats, Montclairs. And some of them is like miserable and whatnot. We didn't talk about depression like that when I was younger. We had it, but it wasn't haunting us like that. It wasn't something that was, thank you for the Cash App. It wasn't something that was on our shoulders like that. It wasn't something that was riding us like that. People had to decide if they was going to go to school sometimes back when I was growing up, because you had to go walk through a hood to get on the train, or you had to go on the train and get through a hood because they had whole hoods on the train robbing niggas. You had to make the decision, am I going to go to school and walk through all of that today, or I'm going to just stay in the crib and play hooky and whatnot? And that's something that everybody couldn't do. And I know anxiety was crazy back then, but you didn't even hear people talking about it like they talk about it now. Because once you made it through all of that fear and anxiety, you almost felt like you was tough. You almost felt like you graduated. You almost felt like you made it through and whatnot. You almost felt like, you felt like you got your motherfucking medal. I survived. Fuck surviving R. Kelly, nigga. Surviving the 90s. How about that? Surviving the D Train. Surviving the Decepticons. They was out there hitting niggas in heads with hammers, for real. And box cutters. They play with razors in New York on your face. The knockout game. Digging pockets. Taking niggas' lead patches. I mean, it was all kind of shit going on. Thank you for the Cash App. Nigga, wedgies. They run up and give you a fucking wedgie, bro. So, these days and times, I'm really, this is the time for my children to enjoy their lives. And, I'm just their servant. I'm at their service at this point in life. I'm a father. You know what I'm talking about? I'm really at service to my children because they're the ones who are going to record, these days, these peculiar days and times and whatnot. I can imagine what it looks like through their eyes and whatnot. I got 3 of them. I can imagine what this world is looking like through their eyes and shit. It's very interesting. But we're in a very technological advanced society. There's nothing to be ashamed of. From my vantage point, the further education of that field equals power. It equals power versus being super ignorant about technology, not even knowing how to turn your iPhone on. Is that powerful? People around you who can't even operate a simple phone and whatnot. Do you consider them to be mad powerful? Not to say that power and turning, being technically savvy equates power in these days and times, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it, and I'm saying it at the same time. You kind of brush somebody off if they be like, yo, I don't even know how to program a VCR. You like, nigga, you a cave dweller. You're analog. You're not with the times. You an old head. So to learn computer languages, to learn how to code, to be considered a developer, to have mastery over the machinery, right? To be the one who could program machine learning and the AI. You the programmer now. You're not at the behest of the programmer. You know what I'm talking about? You the one that's programming the machine to work for you. Thank you for the cash app. That's what you doing, right? That's how you flip this shit. And that, in my humble opinion, is power to me. I see it as such, not to take away from anybody else's power dynamics, because niggas be power tripping and whatnot, and they might think that I'm trying to negate how they tap into their power. But there's a lot of things that you could do in the now and be presently present. That's just one of them. You know? Shit. I'm a clothing designer. I'm an apparel designer. Shit, I would encourage everybody who's having the vision to tap into that $1 trillion business. You understand? One thing that's never going to stop selling is clothes. And one thing that everybody needs is an outfit. Are you serious? Are you dumb? You know what I'm talking about? Even if you're a rap artist, it's your merch just going crazy. It's nothing else. Either your vinyl, your cassette, your CD, and then your merch, your apparel. You know what I'm talking about? Your merch, your brand. You got people making millions upon millions of dollars. Being creative, using their imagination. Your imagination is still yours. Your imagination may have been colonized, but you could uncolonize it. You know what I mean? Your imagination belongs to no man, no woman, and no child. It is yours. Your imagination may be on pause. It may be stifled and whatnot. Your imagination may be compromised, but you all have imaginations. You all have the right, to think and to have a vision and to come up with shit. That's something that hasn't changed, y'all. So that's a vantage point that we all start out with, and we could take it from there. Everything that you see in front of you, from the bucket that I'm wearing, to the glasses on my face, to the Kings County jersey on my back, to the background where I'm in the cosmos, to the mic that I'm holding in my hand, all that shit started in somebody's mind first. You know what I'm talking about? The idea started in somebody's mind first, and they were mining the fertile, like you crypto mining or Bitcoin mining. You have to mine your mind and see what kind of jewels you come out with, right? Which is what I'm about to do tonight on this quote unquote, this moon and whatnot. I got the chocolates on deck. You know what I'm talking about? Talk black to me. I'm about to get into the space shuttle and mine my mind, or mine my mind, for those jewels that's in that thing. Thank you for the cash app. For those jewels that are tucked away tightly and securely and safely and whatnot. They're yours. Nobody's in possession of those nuggets, fam. It's all in your mind, right? Mind your mind, however you get to it, through breath, through stretching, through yoga, through sex, through candle magic, through scrying in the mirror, right? Through laying in the forest, through forest bathing, through sunbathing, through Tai Chi, through spiritual baths, right? Through being a breatharian, through fasting, taking the God Body Challenge. Shout out to our Kibalon 44. We will be commencing our historic classes as early as September with the God and whatnot. And we come in with a whole shitload of receipts. Because everything that he talked about in those classes have come to pass. I just let that shit breathe. We had to let it breathe for a few months. So now he's going to come with supreme evidence, right? This is how you display mastery in real time. This is how you become presently present. And, you have your name mentioned amongst the greats and whatnot. It's all about demonstration. So we're going to be demonstrating the power of the God body and the God body mind during this times, because the brother has proof. He spoke some things into existence. How did he know? How did he know? Right? So we could go, we could get beyond conjecture. You know what I mean? We could move past conjecture and get right to it, right? And make our claim and whatnot, and you know, and have the people back it up. What y'all waiting for? I would love to know that. Like, what's the hold up? Because it's the people, the people's choice, the people's champ. It's really the people. People decide. So when 100,000 of the people come together, or like last weekend when 12,000 people come together and answer a calling, right? Do you know how much power that is being extracted from that? Do you know how much power is? Do you know how electrifying that is? Do you know what that means? Do you know what you could do with that? Because energy never dies. So if you're able to tap into some type of energy and extract it and whatnot, then you got that energy, and you could mold that energy and turn that energy into IP, intellectual property, content, right? Or you could turn that energy into any type of art that you've been gifted and talented and, you know, blessed with to create. It's as simple as that. I make things very simple because everything is not complex, right? Everything is not complex. We're not up here to try to confuse you. Bottom line, it's a motherfucking moon outside your window tonight. Find a way to tap into the energy of that shit, right? And we gave you a few ways that you could do it. If you didn't see the show that we did with Blue Pill on Brother Rich's channel, when this goes off, you could go and tap into that. But we talked about the moon on there as well and more extensively. So, you know, the work ain't going to do itself. The work needs to be done. So shout out to everybody doing the work and all those that are out there that are going to get to the work and get it done, right? So I'm about to tap out. Before I tap out, once again, I just want to remind y'all, KTL University, all right? KTL University, that is the one-stop shop where you could find all of our works, from me and Blue Pill's works to works that we've been doing recently, workshops, lectures, and seminars. That is on ktluuniversity.com. We also have tickets up there for all of the events that we have coming up. The one that we have with AA Rashid in New York, the tickets are up there for the live stream. And the one that we have in Richmond, the tickets are on Eventbrite. They're not on KTL University. They're on Eventbrite, and there you can find the flyer on my IG, Phil_Moreland. Thank everybody for the cash apps. I appreciate y'all. Respect to everybody for your time and your attention and whatnot, and the love that y'all sent in the chat. Make sure y'all hit like and subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribe, I got a goal. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have a goal going into 23. I think I want 444,000 subscribers. You feel me? That's doable. You know what I mean? I have a goal, and at the end of that goal is gonna be something that's gonna be gold. It's gonna be beneficial, right? Gold is 500,000, so 444 is my gold. And, you know, I'm a master when it comes to these numbers, because it's really all about the numbers. We get the numbers right, we could really, I don't like to say, we could change things, right? Because the only thing that's constant is change. I don't say save, I don't say solve too much. You know, we could change things if we just get simple math correct. Remember, the math that powers the Facts Initiative is 30,000 members. Henceforth, why I'm starting the campaign in Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, Virginia was the home of the Confederacy. We, right, remember, this is 1619, right? We're going to be tapping into Richmond, Virginia right around the anniversary of the touchdown of the first slaves in Jamestown, 1619. So the home of the Confederates, we are reinstituting the real Confederacy, and that's us. That's our tribes and whatnot. And the math for the Facts Initiative is 30,000 card carrying members. Membership has its privileges. I just want 30,000. I do 30. I'm at 150,000 views on the video that I did with 19 Keys, Earn Your Leisure, high level conversation. It's at $150. I just want 30 out of that. I just want 30,000 out of that 150 to sign up to the Facts Initiative. And we could be every day writing another page in the history books for melanin people. We could be creating inventions every other week. We could be rolling out so many things. We could be restoring the estates that our ancestors, our great-great-grandfathers were owning, our great-grandfathers and our grandfathers, because they had estates all around the states, right? They had land. They were landowners. They were some bad motherfuckers. They secured the bag for real. You understand? We don't give them enough credit. They were landowners, estate owners. You understand? They had trust and all kind of shit. Let's never negate what our ancestors did. They were not all poor and broke and battered and bruised and subservient and scratchy and whatnot. That wasn't the motherfucking case. There was black people who owned banks. They opened up towns. They had cities. They were doing what you niggas have never done. How about that? How about that? They did what the fuck you can't do and you haven't done yet. And hopefully you'll do one day. But you should study them because they did some shit that niggas, there's no, there's not the amount of times, the amount of towns that were standing when Rosewood was standing. We don't have that right now. All you got was niggas, well, what about when they come with weapons? You know, that's scary talk. Well, what about it? I'll meet you at the range, my nigga. Let's go and let's get our aim together because we all got to fire. We're not just gonna put it on the shoulders of our armed security, nigga. All blickies gonna bust. If somebody run up on our women and children, even the children gonna bust the blicky. So what are you saying? That's that victimhood consciousness. That's that fear, false expectations appearing real. That's that pessimism. That's that scary shit right there. That's not how warriors talk and whatnot. We solve problems. We hack shit. We get it done. What other direction are you going to go in at this point? You boxed in, fam. You want to get checkmated? These motherfuckers got you boxed in, but you still won the game, but you about to get checkmated if you don't move right the next time. That's why I said members only. I'm focusing on members only. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I don't have the patience. I'm gonna Dick Gregory you niggas in a minute. I don't have the patience. I'm just dealing with tribe at this point. I'm not even considering myself conscious community anymore. I'm in the motherfucking cosmic community. How about that? I'm in the cosmic community. The dark matter think tank. You understand? The dark matter think tank. I'm in the cosmic community. You know what I'm talking about? I'm past that conscious shit. Them days are over. That's the shift right there. That's the upgrade. That's the motherfucking pivot. I'm in a cosmic community. So, you know, yeah, I have fun with all of that other shit that y'all be into, but that's I seen the light. I can't ignore it. You know what I'm talking about? And it was shown to me and it wasn't shown to everybody for a reason. And I still ran out there and ran my mouth and told y'all what I seen. I could have kept it to myself, but I seen the light. So with that being said, August the 19th, Facts Initiative. That's the light right there for me, the Facts Initiative. Doing the what I should have been doing years ago, doing the Facts Initiative. That is something that speaks to me right now. You understand? And it's doable. It's so doable. 30,000. Right? Come home with me. You niggas is joining gangs for big homie advice. Come home with me. You know what I'm talking about? Come home with me. Come and get this bag. You know what I'm talking about? Come and get this experience that you'll be able to leave this planet or this plane of existence, having a fucking great experience. Let's get off of the Groundhog Day. Let's get off of this hamster wheel. Let's stop living below our means and whatnot. Let's stop scratching and surviving. Let's collectively come together and make this shit shift. We could shift this paradigm non-violently, non-aggressively, without being arrogant and loud. You understand? We could do this shit the way that the real G's do it, in silence. In silence. I don't want to attract no attention. I'm not a fucking attention whore, and I'm not a part of the attention economy like that. Fame is something that you niggas will be running back with your tails tucked when you get a real whiff of what that shit really is. You don't need that in your life. Stop trying to be famous. Shit is a dub. It's an illusion. It's part of the matrix. You understand? It's a trick bag. You don't want to be famous. You want to be immortalized, and you want to be lionized. Man like Nipsey Hussle, he wasn't necessarily famous like that. He wasn't chasing fame. And when he made his ascension, what happened? Right? Because theoretically on paper, he got killed by another Crip. He got caught slipping without his blick, right? He could have got written off by any other of these rappers that got caught slipping, got written off, right? He could have got forgotten about. There's over 200 plus rappers that have died every year since Nipsey died on Crenshaw. In 2020, I showed it in the lecture that I did. I believe it was American Gods. I read all of their names, 200 plus. I shit you not, on God, on everything. Go to the Googles and everything. You know what I'm talking about? On Google. Then in 2021, it repeated itself. And now we certainly on time in 2022 where they might surpass that record. So niggas die every day, right? And nobody is being lionized. And nobody got buried in the state arena, right? Or they didn't bury Drakeo the ruler in the arena. They didn't even put Kobe in the arena, y'all. A Laker who he had a cleaner reputation. And he died with his daughter. They put Nipsey in the arena. They gave him a coronation. You understand? So he wasn't chasing fame like that. He was chasing impact. He was going outside of his comfort zone. He could have been comfortable as a fucking gangbanger and just stayed there. He went outside of the zone. He risked it all. And when he made his ascension and whatnot, when he was assassinated, the people revered him. He had street reverence, and his name will be immortalized. So he didn't have to, he was more of a private citizen in a sense and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? And he didn't have to chase the fame. He wasn't an attention whore. He wasn't on some Tekashi shit. Because keep in mind, him and Tekashi were in the same time era, and what they were coming up, they were out there in social media during the same times and whatnot. And he was speaking highly and favorably about the clown and that rat Tekashi and whatnot, who was the ultimate clout chaser. So you would never catch fam doing no clout chasing shit. So for the people that think that that's the way to go, and that's a formula that has longevity attached to it, and you would even be considered in conversations about the motherfucking legends, if you want to be a titan and your name live on when you make transition, you might want to you might want to walk on that motherfucking rope a lot more tight. That's a tight rope. You might want to walk accordingly. You feel me? Because people is playing themselves out of pocket in the first quarter. You just got drafted, nigga. You already sitting down like Zion Williams. You didn't even get on the floor yet. Relax. So that's all my conversation for tonight, man. I'm tapped out. I was on Brother Rich. and I'm on here. We done had a healthy conversation and whatnot. We shared some announcements so nobody could never say, damn, Red, I didn't know you was gonna be in my city. I don't hit me, please don't hit me with that inbox. I'm letting you know I'm gonna be in the whole Virginia area next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Richmond, and then we'll be in Capitol Heights, which is PG County, on that Sunday. And then exactly 7 days after that, I'm in New York, and we might even do a pop-up for the Facts Initiative on one of our on Melanin Monday and whatnot. Stay tuned, because I'll let you know, because this information and this message got to go out. You know, the book is coming for the Facts Initiative, but this information, I want y'all to be enthusiastic about it, because like I said, I seen the light. And Tyler Perry told me to dream big, nigga. So I'm going after that 30K, you know what I mean? My 30,000 members, and we're going to change the world. Facts, I promise you. That's
to this
on,
day.
on Poop Man.
To this day.
You know what I mean? On everything. So with that being said, y'all stay dangerous.